Okay, guys. For this lesson, I want us to talk about a a rather unique type of problem, like analytical geometry, where we find unknown angles. You know of an angle. There's an angle all familiar now. It's this one. The angle of inclination. It's the angle of inclination. Angisho, this angle we calculate as theta equal to arc tan of the gradient for the line creating that angle of inclination. Right? So this is the angle you know about, but sometimes unokuhlangabezana nama problems where they calculate theta or alpha or beta or whatever symbol abayisebenzisayo for that specific angle. But uyabuka ukuthi man le angle abathi ngicalculate, nah man, this angle abathi ngicalculate, it's actually not the angle. It's not the angle of inclination. Okay, so sizodiscussa or solve my problems involving those type of questions where they're asking you to find an angle. So this is a question 3 from a question paper. Okay, so I want you to pay attention la. Just focus your attention la who angle R. This is theta. The theta is the angle about C calculate. Can you see that to theta is actually not, the theta is actually not a an angle of inclination. So towards the end of this video, we're gonna try to solve this problem. But if awuyazi, sit tight. So by the end of this video, you should be able to solve this problem. Okay, so let's take this activity and address lama problems here. All right, so but before we solve, let me say this. There's a key theorem in these type of problems. Nayi theorem yakhona. You should be familiar with this. If uyenzile Euclidean geometry, but by now you should have done some Euclidean geometry. There's a theorem, a triangle BCD, yeah, CD. So maybe let me use red. Okay, yeah. So let's divide to C1 and C2. So the theorem says if in an angle B, okay, no need. Okay, so on this type of triangle, we have there's an extension of the triangle. In this case, in an extension CD. So CTO angle C2 is an exterior angle of this triangle ABC. So this exterior angle C2 is equal to angle B plus angle A. So mawuthatha this angle we add with that angle uzothola the exterior angle bani C2. Now keep this in mind. Le theorem le, it's very common la analytical geometry, especially when you try to find angles that are not angles of inclination. So hide. Now let's start solving. Let's take maybe angle, not angle, but question A. So for A, but it's calculated with theta. You can see that the theta is actually not an angle of inclination. Okay, so calculate the angle of inclination for the first line, AC. So we actually calculate the angle of inclination for line AB, right? So but sizodinga ini ama gradients, of course. So starting with AC, so gradient AC is equal to YA minus YC over XA minus XC equal to 1 YA. YA is 5 minus YC, that's 0 over XA, 4 minus XC, that's 0. So the answer is going to be It can't be positive. It can't be positive. I made a mistake somewhere. XA, oh, that's 0, not 4. 0. And then C, it's gonna be 4. The answer, minus 5 over 4. So I now have the gradient ka AC. But then let's also calculate e gradient ka AB. YA minus YB over XA minus XB. YA ubani? YA, that's 5, minus YB, that's 0, over XA, that's 0, minus XB, that's minus 3, 5 over 3. Okay, that's 5 over 3. Now, so calculate the angle of inclination for the line AC. Let's do that. So angle of inclination for line AC, since e gradient corner it's negative, right? Check out the video in the description box titled angle of inclination. So I did discuss angle of inclination in detail. I did mention that on the video, if ever you have a negative gradient, your angle of inclination is calculated as 180 minus arctan of this gradient, right? But you substitute the positive, you substitute without the negative sign. So let's do that. So 180 minus arctan of 5 over 4, close bracket, equal to total 128.66 128.66 degrees. And then so we just calculated the angle of inclination le, that one. Manje, let's calculate the angle of inclination for line AB. Let's call it okay, maybe it was a better idea to say theta. However, we want to calculate with theta, so lana I'm gonna say alpha, the angle of inclination for line AC. So for line AB, let's call it beta. So since the gradient is positive, we're just gonna use or calculate it as just arctan of 5 over 3 equal to, let's go, shift arctan of 5 over 3, close bracket, it will now 59.0304 degrees. Okay, so you can see that let me use yellow. So this triangle triangle you can see that it resembles in the theorem of an exterior angle. So we're gonna use that again. Sizoti, alright, in order to get u theta, Sizoti, we know that u alpha. We know that u alpha alpha, the exterior angle for line AC, alpha is equal to beta plus theta, exterior angle of a triangle. So alpha ngnaye, what is alpha? 128.66 degrees is equal to u beta, it's 59.04 plus u theta, that is just theta. Then you a transposer is equal to, it's minus 59.04 equal to theta. Then we find the answer 128.66 minus 59.04. So answer is 69.62 degrees is equal to theta. That is how you're gonna calculate angles that are not iluganje, not angles of inclination. So let's do B. Asenzo B quickly. So same idea. So for B, I'm gonna say for B, we're gonna calculate the gradient ka AB. So again, it's YA, YB, XA minus XB is equal to YA 6 minus negative 1 YB over XA minus 1 minus XB 5 equal to 7 over negative 6. So yes, the gradient should be negative, and then we're gonna calculate the gradient ka CD, YC, YD over XC, XD equal to, what is YC? 0 minus YD, 6 over XC minus 2 minus XD with 3. So it's minus 6 minus 5 equal to 6 over 5. So this is our answer. I have the gradient ka CD. Now let's calculate the angle of inclination yalla. Let's call it alpha again. This one, let's call it ubani, beta as well. Then we calculate. So alpha, since e gradient yakhona it's negative for the line AB, sithi theta minus man 180 minus tan of 7 over 6 without the negative sign. 180 minus tan of 7 over 6 close bracket, then siba no 130.60, right? Then siyaku beta as well. Then we say what? City tan of 6 over 5. Siya calculator tan of 6 over 5 close bracket, then siba no 50.19, sorry. Then theta you're gonna be equal to bani. Theta you're gonna be equal to you're gonna be equal to bani. You know what, let's just use the actual formula. I don't want to create any confusion. So it's gonna be alpha exterior angle equal to the theta plus the beta. The theorem says that, Angish. Then it's 130.60 equal to theta, I don't know that angle, then beta is equal to 50.19. Then theta is equal to it's 130.60 minus 50.19. So the answer is 80.41. Remember, see transpose the 50 over the other side, so it's 80.41. That is why I subtracted on the calculator. Okay, angifuna ukukekenise nje ubukela ivideo la, then awufundi ifokola, ne? So C and D, it's for you to do, right? If you have any questions regarding these these calculations, just we can discuss that in the comment section, okay? Into ngifuna ukuyenza manje, ngifuna ukuthi sibuyele back to this problem. Back to this problem. Okay. So we're not going to answer the whole question. I'm interested in the last question, 3.7. Calculate theta. Calculator with theta. Okay? Calculate with theta. You can see that with 3.2, they are telling us with the normal la when you are 90 degrees. By this question, they are asking us to prove that PQR is actually 90 degrees. So it is 90 degrees, confirmed by 3.2. So in order to calculate theta, I need this angle yala. We can call it QPR. QPR. We have to calculate layer angle yala, right? So how do we calculate it? I think highlight the triangle yetu. 9. So you need this angle of inclination. Then we apply the theorem. Then you calculate to QPR. After calculating QPR, you semester the sum of angles in a triangle. This angle combined gives us 180 degrees. Then you calculate uloganju theta ke kanjalo. right? So fortunately for us, kule problem, we have the gradient for this line. Basiphe the equation for the line. So the gradient ila minus 1. Now we have to calculate the gradient for QP. Okay, so let's do that. So the gradient of QP is equal to YQ minus YP over XQ minus XP equal to ubano YQ negative 2 minus ubano YP 1 over ubano XQ 0 minus ubano XP 1 equal to, so it's minus 3 over minus 1. So the answer is a positive 3. This is the first gradient. The next gradient, PR. PR is equal to minus 1. Okay, so as calculate the first angle, PNT. PNT, this angle yala, the exterior angle. So sizoti angle PNT, you are equal to since you have a negative gradient when I line PR, sizoti 180 minus tan of 1. Remember when we substitute in iloganje gradient yet, we do not include the negative sign. So it's gonna be 180 minus tan of 135 degrees. See totally angle up. Now let's work out the angle ga lela. This one, PMN. PMN is equal to just a tan of 3 equal to shift tan of 3 equal to 71.57 degrees. Okay, therefore QPR, you are equal to the exterior angle, which is 135 minus 71.57. This is the exterior angle of triangle, the reason why we are doing this. And then the answer here too, it's 135 minus 71.57, 63.43 degrees. Yeah, 63.43 degrees. Now you have QPR. Now so I calculate ubani theta again. So theta is just gonna be equal to 180 minus 90. That's 90 degrees minus the angle is that we calculate for 3. So it's 180 minus 90 minus 63.43. Answer 26.57. Okay, so try going to previous question papers, paper 2 mathematics. Uzamok check questions where they are asking you to calculate ubani theta or any other angle that is not an angle of inclination. Uzobon, in most of the cases, this theorem, exterior angle of a triangle, it's gonna apply in order for you to calculate that unknown angle. So I hope we enjoy it. I hope we told some insights, we told some revelation for these types of questions. If you did, like or share, subscribe. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye bye.